Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for joining. And welcome to our Thursday morning mindfulness gathering brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare. And as you all know, this is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness instructors to talk with us about what mindfulness means to them and to discuss as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino, and I'm very happy to be here with Tara Healey, our founder and director of Harvard Pilgrim's Mindfulness Program. Good morning, Tara.
Good morning, Suzanne, and good morning and welcome to all of you. So happy to be with you again. Some of you might know that I was here on Tuesday, but generally it's every Thursday. So delighted to be here with all of you.
Yeah, so today we'll start off with a question for the group to get everybody waking up and talking to one another. And then Tara will lead us in a guided meditation practice. And after that, as you know, we'll have opportunity for questions. So if you think of anything that you have a question that you want to type in early, that's great. But go to the bottom of your screen and just hit the chat. And if you're interested in seeing both the panelists and the attendees comments, just click that drop-down menu to give you an opportunity to see that. Okay, so Tara, what question shall we ask?
And that reminds me too, Suzanne, I want to make sure that I am all panelists and attendees. So yeah, so last Thursday, I talked about March is Sleep Awareness Month, and meditation can really help with sleep because it helps to calm the central nervous system over time. So it's one of the things we can do to, support our well-being is have a daily or a daily-ish meditation practice. And again, what's important is the consistency rather than the amount of time. That is where you're going to start to see a difference, is the regularity of doing it. And so this morning, I'm going to guide us through a short kind of body sweep, awareness of the body, and then into a more concentration practice using breath or another anchor to help stabilize attention. The body scan is great if you wake up in the middle of the night, which many of us do. And I think during pandemic, sleep has not been easy. So there are a few things you can do when you wake up in the middle of the night. And the other thing I just want to say quickly that I've been paying a lot of attention to, and because today is going to be a beautiful day, is that part of what helps our sleep in the evening is if we get enough daylight entering our eyes, entering the retina. And so, just kind of a shout out for being outside today to the best of your ability, or near a window even, and see how that can also help with sleep. Because I think it's, such a combination of things. It's not one thing we do, but a few different things to really facilitate and support sleep. But let's kick it off this morning with a check-in with all of you. And what is a word or two that would describe the quality of your sleep last night? So it can be, whatever comes to mind. How'd you sleep last night? And Suzanne, while folks are getting their thoughts together around that question and that check-in, do you want to start?
So my sleep, I have ups and downs with my sleep, but last night I actually had a restful night's sleep. I always get up at least once during the night, but last night was restful. So I attributed it to just getting outside and also some exercise.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm always grateful when I do have those good nights.
Yeah, because I know it really matters. We feel the difference when we have a good night's sleep and you wake up and you're like, wow, I slept great. Like it sets your day. It's
something I take for granted. Like I always was a good sleeper until a certain age, and then all of a sudden, well, that wasn't always the case. But, some comments here.
Yeah.
Restless.
Pretty good. Feel awake. Yeah. Yoga Nidra includes a body scan. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yoga Nidra is something I want to explore a little bit. That's interesting. There, it's right there. Slept well, woke up happy, restful. Cat is a cuddler. Yeah, nice. Great. Thank you, everybody. So let's go ahead and as I said, what I'm going to do is kind of lead with a body sweep, a body scan. And not only does that help us, especially if we wake up in the middle of the night, but it's actually a practice you can do anytime. And it really helps train flexibility of attention so that you can aim and sustain your attention more easily. So that's like an added benefit of that. But we're going to do the second half of the practice will be a concentration practice, which generally having a mind that has more steadiness is helpful for bringing about relaxation. So I'm going to begin as we usually do, and then ask all of you to take a couple of deep breaths on your own as a way to settle surface tension from your activity so far. So just do a deep inhalation through the nose, pause for a couple seconds, and do a longer exhalation to engage that parasympathetic nervous system. And we all breathe in different ways. So go ahead on your own and just do a couple of those. See if you can surrender your weight into the support of the surface. So whether you are doing a standing practice this morning or a sitting meditation, see if you can release your weight into the support of the surface and yet maintain a spine that is upright, engaged, with an alert posture. And soften the body around the spine that is holding you upright. And take a moment to just notice the sensations you're feeling in your whole body. It could be the points of contact with the body and the surface. It could be a pulsing or a vibration or temperature from the activity of your morning already. And just kind of whole body check-in, like what's going on? And just for a moment, aware of sound, perhaps in the room that you're in or outside of the room, just noticing and simply hearing, without labeling what's making it, but just literally hearing, receptive. And allowing sound to remain in the background and begin to narrow the focus of attention. So bringing awareness inward back to the whole body, and begin now to even narrow that focus. Just for a moment, and just take in the rhythm of your breath. However you're breathing is fine, so don't worry about that, but just connecting with the rhythm of how you're breathing. And releasing that. And I'm going to have everyone bring your attention now to the very top of the head. So we're going to sweep attention through the body. So starting at the top of the head and throughout the body, noticing sensations that are present and noticing lack of sensation. So you don't have to feel something, but just we're bringing awareness to these parts of the body. We're just simply noticing what's there. If we notice any holding or tightness, we're softening just to the degree that you can. Not trying to make any big differences, but just simply really allowing things to be as they are, noticing, softening to the degree that you can. So top of the head coming down now over the forehead and the eyes, cheeks, nose, lips, jaw. So just aware of the face, the muscles in the face, any sensations or lack of sensations. Bringing awareness to the sides of the head and the back of the head. Continuing now to move down to the neck, to the throat and the sides of the neck, the back of the neck. Moving awareness now down to the shoulders, to the upper arms, elbows, forearms, and hands. So holding both the left and the right arms, hands, shoulders in your field of awareness. Noticing sensation or lack of sensation, and softening to the degree that you can. And bringing awareness to the torso, so the entire front of the body and the back of the body. Perhaps there's a point of contact. Just simple curiosity. What are you feeling? What are you noticing? Or lack of sensation? Coming down now over the hips and thighs. Sweeping attention over the knees, the lower legs, and the feet. Holding this part of the body in your field of awareness. And noticing sensation or lack of sensation. And softening to the degree that you can. And you can go ahead and release that. And come back now again to that rhythm of the breath. Just begin to notice how you're breathing. Is it deep or shallow, rapid or slow? The body ultimately knows how to regulate itself. All you need to do is just check in with the rhythm of how you're breathing. And begin to notice where the sensations of the inhalation and the exhalation are most noticeable, easiest for your awareness to anchor to. So as you breathe in and breathe out, could be abdomen, chest, nostrils, or perhaps you're just feeling the overall sense of breathing in and breathing out and feeling the sensation. So we're not thinking about breathing, but we're actually like, what do I physically feel when I breathe in and breathe out, and where in my body is it most pronounced? And thoughts will come and go, perfectly normal. We're not trying to stop them. In fact, we can't stop them. We're simply noticing that when we are engaged in a narrative, in a memory, in planning or worry or joy, we can make a soft mental note of what that thought is. It could even be as simple as thinking. And then you bring the awareness back to that part in the body where sensations are strongest for you. Tracking that in breath, tracking that out breath. Each time you notice you're in a thought and bring the attention back, you are doing it correctly. You are strengthening the muscle of concentration and focus. And the last thing I'll say before a period of silence is that if breath is hard for you this morning, you can do something else, like you can choose a body sensation. It could be a point of contact with the body and the surface. It could also be a sound that is in your background, or another area of the body that feels accessible to you, that it's something you can return to that'll serve to anchor you. As thoughts come and go, we notice, we release, we return. And everyone is doing it correctly. That's how we do it. Noticing where your attention is. Where is the mind? Gently releasing thought, maybe say thinking or not now, and gently say that and return. And noticing where the mind is, and gently releasing the narrative and escorting the attention back to your anchor. And in just a moment, I'll ring a chime and you can move awareness from the anchor that you're choosing this morning to sound and see if you can track the sound all the way out until you can no longer hear it. And as you feel ready, you can reconnect with the room around and with each other.
Great. Thank you so much, Tara.
Yeah.
Something came to mind when you were speaking earlier about something I read. As everyone knows, it's daylight saving this weekend.
Yeah.
And I know it's Thursday before the Saturday that we make that change, but they were recommending that we make little micro changes in our sleep patterns to prepare. And so, for example, each day maybe waking up at 15 minutes earlier than you normally would to get your body kind of on that cycle.
Yeah.
Going to sleep 15 minutes before
Yep.
normally would, just to on that.
Yeah, that's nice. Little sleep hacks, sort of. Yeah, that's great. Um, how about anybody from this morning's practice want to comment on, how the practice was for you? Was it difficult? Was it easy? And it's also, an opportunity to just ask questions. I really, the only thing that I want to add here is when the mind goes into thought, I cannot emphasize enough that you are not doing it wrong when that happens. We are not trying to stop thought. And I think it warrants repeating pretty much all the time, because we somehow think that we're not doing it correctly when thoughts slip in. But that's just the nature of the mind. I mean, thoughts slip in unnoticed all the time. In fact, about 50% of our waking hours, we are in thought. So it would make sense that when we are practicing meditation, it's just that when we're practicing meditation and we see that a thought has slipped in, all we have to do is say, oh, thinking, or not now, and really watch the attitude in the mind around that, because it could be like, oh, thinking, or not now, and tug the attention back kind of with a little bit of hostility. And there's no reason for that. Literally, you're doing it correctly. When you see thought is entered, release, return to your anchor. And again, thought, release and return. It's like you're doing, in a way, the thinking mind serves as like a weight would serve when you're building strength and flexibility in your muscles. You're kind of working, you're doing repetitions against the resistance of the weight. If you didn't have the weight, you wouldn't really build strength and flexibility. Thoughts are, the analogy, the thinking mind is like the weight. It's like, oh, and the repetition is just, you're doing reps and bringing it back, reconnecting, with breath sensation. So would love to hear what questions any of this raised for you, or questions around sleep. I mean, anything is fair game.
Yeah, someone said that practice is good. I have to continue to bring my thoughts back to the anchor.
Yeah, and do it with gentleness and self-love and kindness, because that we're all having these thoughts slip in. So, typically when I say, noticing where the mind is, because I find that I'm in thought, so it's not like I'm without thought. So
another comment, seem to lose focus on the breath more frequently on the out breath than on the in breath.
Yeah. I think, and that could even vary day to day, but and the in breath is like more active, so I wonder if that's like part of it too. But just like I would say, like Cindy, the noticing of that is a great moment of awareness, because then you can turn toward that. What is what's the out breath like? What's that sensation like? And then easier to anchor to sound, that's perfectly fine. What I often say is it doesn't matter what we choose to focus on. What matters is the quality of our awareness. And so if sound is able to work for you, then, that's fine. To know that by bringing the attention back over and over again, we're calibrating and steadying the mind, so mindfulness can do its work. It just works better when that platform has steadiness to it. So basically we're employing the concentrated mind in the service of our lives. So when you get off the chair or the cushion, your meditation area, you're employing the concentrated mind that you're cultivating by bringing attention back over and over again in the service of your day-to-day life. Mindfulness functions more effectively. So.
Yeah, I think people have mentioned how challenging body scans are for them.
Yeah.
So, it's an option. It's just a practice
Right.
that if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, and something else does,
Right.
that's great too.
Yeah. So somebody comments on food and sleep / mindfulness. So are they two separate things, like foods to eat, and then how can sleep support mindfulness? I think maybe. So there's a fair amount of research on sleep and mindfulness. And so it's There's so much research, so I would say it's worth just doing a search on the web to see what comes up around that. And if anybody in the community today knows of any particular sleep studies, but generally what I can say that I have heard for over and over for years and makes perfect sense is that, through this practice daily, again, the consistency is what's important, is you are cultivating a calmer nervous system. And so when we go to bed at night, if we've been kind of cultivating some steadiness within the nervous system, that's just naturally going to help. Now, there are fluctuations in our days and, all kinds of things that can change that. And then sleep and food, that's not an area of expertise for me, so I don't know. Yeah, sorry, I can't answer that, but if anybody has thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, someone's added small amount of protein before bed can be helpful for stabilizing blood sugar. Which I've
Nice.
heard that. That's good to know.
Yeah, I haven't heard that either.
And I know, of course, people have heard that alcohol can be disruptive to sleep.
Right, like chocolate, alcohol, like go too close to bed. Yeah. Magnesium, yeah, that I just actually learned that.
Yeah, pumpkin seeds. Those pumpkin seeds are packed with a lot of really good things. I didn't realize.
Yeah, they are. This comment from Colleen, one teacher would say, be here when practicing, and that's helping with sleep. Nice, really, yeah, thank you. That's great. Appreciate the reminder that I'm doing okay. Being gentle, and I notice, and kindly escorting attention back to the anchor. Yeah.
Gentleness is important for sure.
I can't remember where I heard the phrase escort the attention back. Like, yeah, like you're just gently saying, take my arm and let's walk back to kind of that home base, that isn't it so interesting how the mind wants to jump around and just do other stuff? But with training, it's like anything, like Dr. Richard Davidson says, wittingly or unwittingly, we're always shaping our awareness, our attention. We are always training it, wittingly or unwittingly. And I think, what mindfulness can help us do is wittingly help us shape our attention so that when we see we're going down a path that is not going to serve us thought-wise, to just stop and notice and feel the physical expression, and then regulate your attention back. And, nature is great for kind of shifting and regrounding, just stabilizing. So today, I know we're probably close on time. Yeah, today's going to be just a great day to kind of connect with with nature. If you can get out and just step on the earth and breathe the sense of spring. It feels close. Yeah. So thank you, everyone. I think we might be slightly over. I really love being with everyone on Thursday mornings, and I thank you for your input, your comments, your suggestions, all of it.
Yeah, we're very grateful to have you here. So just a few ways to stay in touch, as you all know, that have been with us before. We'll be back on Tuesdays and Thursdays, every Tuesday and Thursday at 8:30. There are fitness classes, yoga and Zumba, and webinars on our website, Living Well at Home, as well as on mindful.org/pain, some pain management resources using mindfulness, both in English and in Spanish. Connect with us on Facebook at Mind the Moment and see these sessions and older sessions, as well as some sessions of interviews Tara's had with researchers on the subject of mindfulness, on YouTube at Mind the Moment and the video tab. And that's it for our resources. So thank you again, everyone, for sharing.
Sorry we went a little bit over.
Yeah, thank you, Tara, for being with us as always. And we'll see everyone soon.
Yep.
Have a good rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye.